Hello, everyone. We are here with another topic, twin flame telepathy. So looking forward to talking about it and bringing light on it. So let's see what we have today for this juicy topic. I would like to introduce all the coaches here today. So we have Leesie. Leesie, would you like to say hi?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Leesie. I'm a Master Certified Ascension Coach with Twin Flames Universe. And this is a very juicy topic because a lot of people are sharing about twin flame telepathy. And we're going to talk about it and dispel some myths and affirm some truths about it.
Wonderful. And Christine?
Hey everybody, I'm Christine. I'm a certified Ascension coach. I've been in union with my twin flame for almost 3 years now, and I'm also really excited to be here and to share about today's topic.
Thank you. And the wonderful Paco and Deborah.
Hi everyone. Yeah.
Hello.
I feel like you want to talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, we are looking forward to this topic, telepathy, as it's kind of important, as most of us who are not yet in Twin Flame Union experience it. And so we would like to bring here, like Arshiya already shared, insights, light, and clarity.
Wonderful. So yeah, I first would like to share some experiences I have had with my twin flame in this place. So like initially we although there was telepathy, there was a lot of denying. Like, oh, this can't be true. All right. So we like if I desire to have a pet or a dog, he'd be going and claiming it literally. Or else, let's say, I'll be like thinking of, I want white shoes, and he'd be going and buying it. So even though we lived in two different places during that time, it was like I'd be thinking of something and literally he'd be going and claiming it, or else we'd end up having the exact same gadgets often. Either it'll be gifted or by someone, and then we'll shift it. So this was our telepathy that I have experienced. And it's very interesting that today something went wrong with my laptop, and I'm using my twin flames laptop today, and it's the exact same one, and I literally cannot see the difference. Like, it's set up to that extent. So it's a still that sort of a telepathic experience. I'm like, how can this be so similar, right? But it's safe to trust that connection is what I feel like, instead of really denying it, or because it is you, your twin flame is you, so it's safe to have like a telepathic connection, but also see it in a grounded manner. So that I think Deborah would be able to talk about in this area. Right. Because it's not just your twin flame you can have telepathy with, because I have had telepathy with one of my clients where there was a storm in her place, and I somehow ended up sleeping just before my session. And the message got passed through my dream. So that was very interesting for me. So, well, at a particular point, you can tune into it if it is possible. Like if it is, if you're connected to that extent, that is. But with your twin flame, I feel like the telepathy feels like mirror also. So with others, it won't be mirror, it will be a message most probably, or it'll be just a connection that you might feel. But with your twin flame, what I feel is like, oh my God, this is ditto. This is just me. So yeah, that's what I wanted to open the topic up with. So Deborah, do you have anything to share? Yeah.
Well, since to pass the torch, like, yeah, I can totally share like my experiences with this topic. I tend to like, I like keeping things like very grounded when it comes to like telepathy and that kind of stuff. But like in my experience, I also had this with an old friend of mine, and we were like really close. At some point, I feel like we may have been soulmates or something of the sort. And we would communicate with each other sometimes during my like so-called dreams. Like I would go to sleep, and that's funny. Like that's how I kind of like picked up that he was about to have a child, for instance. And we weren't talking for like 5 years, so that kind of like, because we resonated with something in that experience, and so that was being communicated. And then I kind of like reached out, and we sort of pick up the friendship where it left off. But it's not like it was absolutely not my twin flame at all. It was just someone that I have like a very deep affinity with. And like the way I like to see it is, it's very kind of like almost should be like our normal, in truth, to be kind of like in communication, especially with people that we resonate with, and especially those who resonate a lot, since we are all connected in truth. Like we are all children of God, we have that in common. So it is kind of like to be expected. It doesn't mean though that every person that you have this connection with will be your twin flame. Maybe you have this with a family member or a very
I had it
close
with my mother
friend.
since I'm a child.
Okay, you want to share about that?
Yeah, and we sometimes, when I grew older, tried and it still functioned. So we were kind of both conscious about it, and it was just, we resonated at that time. And with you, it's different than
Yeah,
I experience with others. With your twin flame, it's as we shared the core, the same consciousness. It's something. It's not that she brings something in my mind and I do that then. No, it's just
it's kind of like a
more
constant
through feelings.
communication
Yeah.
that like the soul at its core has with
Mhm.
its two aspects.
Mhm.
And like I had this experience this past week. Of course, we every time we have a topic in these lives, we kind of like get prepared in some way or another, and we will have like maybe the same concern, so to speak, or like the same topic in our mind. And while I was thinking about it, and I was kind of like feeling my feelings and feel like finding when to feel comfortable about bringing it up, I didn't really have to do anything. It came through him. Oh, we should be doing this, or how about we do that? And I was like, oh, okay. Well, okay, I guess that's there. It's on the table already. So, but yeah, it's like Paco was saying, it's not like I am kind of like using the force and sending like my thoughts. This is kind of like something that already happens at the core of who we are. Just to
I tried bringing you my thoughts that you kind of clean up the kitchen or something.
That's gonna happen. No,
No,
not gonna happen. Sorry.
Sorry, your twin flame cannot.
I have like a firewall to those thoughts.
It doesn't function.
Yeah,
I have to do it on my own. But
yeah, exactly. Like sometimes I have the desire for instance, like something be done in the home, and it might happen that it comes through him, but it doesn't mean that because I am thinking and I'm thinking very hard. Oh, I wish him to like wash the windows. No, like
I didn't
the windows.
do it
I know.
until today.
I know. Like it doesn't really function like that.
Even I'm thinking about it too, but I still feel not guided to do it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I would like to open up the floor for Leesie and Christine to share their experiences too.
I experienced my twin flame telepathy in a very like effortless way. Also, it's not like we're projecting our thoughts or anything like that, and it really happens a lot with music or with words with me and my twin flame. So I'll give an example. So there was one one day at the start of nowhere got the song Living After Midnight stuck in my head. So it's not a very, like, right now it's popular on the radio, it just got stuck in my head out of nowhere. And that same night, my twin flame just sent me a message. And he's like, "Oh, guess what song I'm listening to?" Out of nowhere. And he was listening to the same song. So we hadn't caught it from everywhere, like going to the mall, you hear it. It was just so out of nowhere. And he was just listening to the same thing. Or I might be thinking about something, a specific topic, and he'll just say something about it. Like maybe I'm thinking, oh, we should go to the beach today or something like that. And he'll just come right out and say like, I was thinking we should go to the beach today. And it's always this like effortless thing that it just happens naturally. It's not like we need to force it or we need to like do something to get closer. And I've noticed that it happens a lot as a result of my healing. So in the beginning, of course, I didn't know we were twin flames, so we didn't have that experience. But as I healed with my coach, with Twin Flame Ascension School, we came even closer. And as friends, we had a little bit of telepathy. Like we would both like be listening to the same songs at the same time, things like that. But it was like it happened occasionally. But as we've been like together and getting to know each other and healing even more, it has grown even deeper. So sometimes it happens that he might get upset about something, but he won't say anything, but he'll make like a very like small unconscious gesture. Maybe his face will move a certain way and I'll know. And that's how like you become even closer with your twin flame and you become more in tune very naturally. It's not something that you force like with a soulmate where you just try to get closer and it just doesn't work. So yeah, that's my experience.
Yeah, thank you. First I want to say hi to those who are watching that I can see. So I'm on the comment duty. Hello, Priscilla, Angela, Andy, Steph, Vanessa, Manuela, Mete, or Mita, Ohud, and Yoreen are watching with us. And so welcome. And we have a question already. So Vanessa asked a question and I'm going to share and then I'll read her question out loud. So my experience, similar to yours, Christina, it's a lot linked to my healing. And the greatest moments of telepathy that I've experienced with Josh is that I would heal something or I'd become aware that I had a particular block and I would, come home from wherever, like work or something or the store, and I'd share with him. He's like, yep, going through the same thing, and it just doesn't surprise me anymore. It used to be like, whoa, in the beginning. But one of my experiences was when I was healing a block. And this was like 4 years ago, and I still remember it to this day. And inside of my mirror exercise, when I got to step 4, which is the visualization step, and where sometimes if you want, you can imagine just bringing in whatever you need to feel loved and visualize it in that step. And I had my eyes closed and I was visualizing a part of me that was really upset and hurt. And that part of me manifested in my visual consciousness. Like I had my eyes closed and I was imagining as like a young boy that had blue shorts and a white shirt. And I was like, okay, I'll roll with it. I know I'm a feminine, but there's this little boy here and he's really angry and really hurt. And all he wanted was for me to like accompany him and just be with him and not leave or abandon him. Just, he was having in my imagination, I was having this tantrum deep inside. And I moved from anger to like feeling underneath the anger. I released that and I was able to, comfort this part of me that looked like a little boy with blue shorts and a white shirt. And then I felt relief. And I went home and Josh was there and he came out of the room and he was like wearing blue shorts and a white shirt. And I was like, and then he said, I just felt so anxious all of a sudden. And then it went away. And I was like, oh, really? Oh, really? That apple boy. from Twin Flame Ascension School. That was the voice that I was like saying that out loud. And it doesn't happen like that all the time, but it was just like the way that I see Twin Flame telepathy is very, influenced by being a grounded, like I like being grounded. I think Arshiya talked about being grounded because I think a lot of people can get a little high feeling with telepathy and like kind of like start to focus on it primary when it's actually not the primary connection with your twin flame. It's like a kind of a nice thing that sometimes can reassure you of your connection, but it's not always like, I think I see a lot of people in the larger community use it as a way to get high and kind of avoid doing inner work because it's like, whoa, that was so amazing, and that's great to have those experiences, but I see people kind of getting lost in it or focusing a little too much on it. But let's see. So then we just want to bring some grounding to it. So I'll read Vanessa's question. Vanessa says, would love to hear y'all's thoughts about phantom touch with telepathy. I realized who my twin flame is via clairaudient message that came out of the blue. It blew my mind. Yeah, so that's the question. So twin phantom touch and maybe like a clairaudient messages coming. Anyone want to share or address that one?
Yes, I would like to share about that. So earlier, like what I'll get to the question. Earlier, what Leesie said, like about getting high, right? So for me as a child, my coping mechanism for trauma was to just go into my imagination. And of course, with it, so that helped me connect with my twin flame even then. So what happened for me is that I was in that high state most of the times before the teachings. I was able to connect to him telepathically, but I was not able to ground my relationship with him. So what helped me ground my relationship with him is really working with my coach and disciplining myself that not to get high on this. Although I practiced this, quite a lot when I was younger and not on purpose. It was like a coping mechanism for me to feel comforted. So, I sort of stopped drifting and really grounded the relationship. And now I can see the telepathy in person, basically. Right. So when it comes to Vanessa's question, the Claire audience, right? It's safe to trust what your heart is saying. Like the clairaudience and the clairvoyancy and everything is also a part of who you are. Like, because when you hear it, when you see it, when you feel it, it is a part of you. It's not separate from you. It is, let's say wherever the voice is coming from, it is in your being. It's not anywhere outside. So it's safe to trust that and explore and follow. I would suggest with the teachings because it'll help ground, especially people with clairvoyancy, clairaudience. It's very helpful to walk into the teachings because for me, I had no clue how to channel all these things and it used to drive me crazy. And seeing, things which are ungrounded, right? So finally, my coach gave me the choice of why don't you keep it aside for a while and focus on healing? And that's when it really helped me. And then working with TFU, volunteering helped me channel these things better, ground these things better. So, it gave me a lot of grounding, a lot of peace, a lot of power over what I can hear, what I can see, what I can feel, instead of having no control and guessing and things like that. So even the phantom touch right, that you're feeling is the desire that is being shown, that yes, this is the touch you want from your twin flame. So the best way to ground that is the teachings, the work, which is a wonderful process if you're working with coaches and grounded into classes and really honestly choosing to see where you are at, then grounding is easier.
Yeah, it kind of like stole my words out of my mouth. But yeah, like one of the things that I feel it's important to kind of keep in mind is, because again, like that communication, it's going to happen naturally. You're constantly in communication with your twin flame, and you're constantly in communication with the universe or God or love or however you want to call it. So as you heal and your heart kind of like opens up more, then you're going to start picking up these messages here and there, or that feeling of touch. And what for me it's important, I like Arshiya was sharing, for me it was also very important to kind of like ground all that stuff. I was growing up with like deja vus and I know that I relived this and blah blah blah, and now I'm understanding a little bit better. But it's to, like Leesie was sharing, we see a lot of people perhaps like going to this route and kind of like getting high of it, but because you are placing your union outside of yourself. And so you believe that you have to kind of like hold on to this way of communicating, like this telepathic connection, but you are not seeing it for what it is, which is an inner communication that you've been having with your twin flame since you've been created. Doesn't matter if you're still moving through peeling the layers of believing that you're separate. It's just an illusion. It's like having your eyes covered and suddenly kind of like taking your hands out of it. Oh, now I can see. So of course you like, it's the juiciest thing of all. Like you are in communication with your twin. But I feel like everyone was sharing, the more I heal and the more peace I find, that's the most times that I actually feel Paco with me. And this can happen when I'm at work or when I'm at home and he's at work. And it feels like very grounding, and feels like that kind of like that knowing that this is there. I don't have to kind of like go looking at it like after it somewhere. I just like go back to my peace, and there he is.
It feels that way much better.
Yeah.
I remember now, before I was using the mirror exercise and watching Twin Flame Ascension School class and Life Purpose class to experience that. And it felt not as good as it feels now with the teaching, or before we came into union. It felt so love. It was love. It was grounded in peace with the inner healing.
We have another question. Would you guys like the other question? Okay, so this is from Priscilla. Okay, so let's see. So I'll just skip to the, she posted a comment and I'm skipping to the question part. I notice it happens the most when I'm calm and just myself. I have done the mirror exercise a lot lately. So does this happen due to the constant mirror exercise, or is it just telepathy between us? That's a good question too. I think Paco and Deb answered that a little bit. It's like when you're the most healed, you're connected to your heart the most, and it kind of helps you to stay, present with yourself, which is including your twin flame, and your twin flame union is here. But the thing is, with telepathy, it's a nice thing to have, and it sometimes can be really reassuring that yes, this is real and you have a twin flame, but you also want to be with them in person. Like that's, you don't prefer the telepathy. I mean, Deb, you want to like give Paco back and just accept the telepathy version of your union? No, right?
hell no.
No.
What are you saying, Leesie?
No, but what I see is sometimes, and this is something that you, if you're just kind of experiencing telepathy and waiting for the next bit of telepathic communication, you might want to ask yourself, like, am I settling for telepathy, or do I really want my harmonious twin flame union, right? Because like I said, like the telepathic communication is not harmonious union. It's a sign that God is here, God is real, and that your twin flame is real, and it's a real thing. But it's, don't forget that you want your twin flame in harmonious union, which includes on earth. And so it's safe to receive the communication, but remember the path where you're going to. And so it's important to feel your feelings of the other places where you feel like you are separate, and work through the process of the mirror exercise there. But yeah, that's what I just kind of wanted to speak to, that consciousness of like, it's nice to have telepathic communication, but remember, like, harmonious twin flame union is here on earth, and continue to heal there for that. I hope that kind of addresses some things that were in the comments.
That's an excellent point, actually, because I see a lot of people, they are settling for the fantasy of being in harmonious union instead of actually being in harmonious union. And it's not bad to desire that and daydream, and because that's how you call it in. Imagination has a lot of power to it. If you focus your imagination on harmonious union, you're bringing it closer to you. You're giving a signal. But you also want to take the action steps towards it. It's not just about, a woo-woo way that you might manifest it if you think about it hard enough. It doesn't really work that way. So that's why it's important to be grounded and not to settle just for the fantasy, because you can have the real thing. There's nothing stopping you.
If you're gonna work hard in the fantasy, you can just as well put that energy into actually taking the steps and the processes. It can be really easy with the support of the teachings, in truth.
You can try it with the free Twin Flame
Introductory.
Ascension introductory course on twinflamesuniverse.com and try it here.
Yeah.
The work
And
the dreams do come true.
Yeah. Like if I would, I put like 30 something years of imagining like who my person would be. And in 3 years applying the teachings in a regular basis, I actually manifested being with them. It would seem like the most implausible thing in the world. 2 continents apart, like didn't even knew about each other if it wasn't for the community, in truth.
You.
So, and here we are.
You.
Yes, so I also felt that like really following the teachings will help you ground the union from fantasy. So what happens is that you remain in fantasy, and then somewhere it's like the settling energy comes in, and it's safe to look at all the separation consciousness is what I feel, and that is very clearly shown with all the classes here at Ascension School also. Because every time I watch a class, it's like peeling a layer of another consciousness and a separation consciousness. And it's like, even if it is a class which I have already watched. So there'd be something there which is being brushed off. And again, watching the classes from a place of heart, from a place of grounding. So instead of trying to, get high or look at your twin flame and try to control them with telepathy, which is an illusion, which is not possible. Like Deborah and everybody said that, how much ever you imagine, it's not possible to really ground it unless and until you really choose to feel your feelings. Because what I have noticed is whenever I fail to feel my feelings, or or block myself towards it, my twin flame immediately shows it in the reality. He'd be either silent or not talking, or there'd be something definitely off. So I'd be like, no, I'm going to just take my book and write the feelings down one step at a time, and then go into mirror exercise if required at that point, or else I listen to a class during that time so that it melts my that I have this habit of shutting down. Both of us do. So whenever I shut down, all I need is like Jeff and Julia's voice. So it really helps. So yeah, that's why like the teachings, the coaches, all this is there. There is always a solution, no matter where you are at or how difficult your journey looks like, or you feel like you have never met your twin flame, or they are maybe living in the sky or wherever it is still possible to have your union with the support of the teaching.
And I'd like to add that if you're in separation and you experience twin flame telepathy, imagine how much cooler it's going to be to experience twin flame telepathy when you're in union. Like we had this thing happen yesterday with my twin flame. It was like, I don't know, 1 a.m. and I was sending him this meme out of nowhere, and he just messages me at the same time, and it was like, whoa. Even though it has happened so many times, it still never gets old. So yeah, it's worth it. Keep going, keep healing.
It's even cooler when you get to talk to them every single day.
So I have a really good quote from Jeff and Shalia in Twin Flame Ascension School. And they say that, remember that twin flames share the same consciousness, not the same brain. It's not your exact thoughts. Like, I want to order a pizza, and it's not going to be like automatic. Your twin flame's like, okay, got the message, gonna order a pizza now. And that's not necessarily how it works, nor can you be like, well, I did a mirror exercise that one time and I had this telepathic thing happen. Let me do it again. Try to mirror exercise. Oh, it didn't happen. You can't control telepathic experiences. And it's a way for you to go deeper into understanding like what twin flames are, and grounding that. And you can, the best place to do that, ta-da, Twin Flames Finding Your Ultimate Lover. It's available on twinflamesuniverse.com. And you can really start to understand what it means to share one consciousness. Doesn't mean to share the same brain. It's like you're like a super being, and you have two parts of your whole one union that you have different thoughts in your mind, but the core choices, the places where you're one at the core, those are always simultaneous and at the same time in the same moment. So yeah, and we also have another comment from Vanessa. I'm going to read from Jeff Devine's recent blog post about seeing the two girls with him in the back of a car. That was a blog post that Jeff wrote while he and Shalia were in the process of being pregnant and delivering their daughter Grace into the world. So check that out at twinflamesuniverse.com if you haven't read that blog post already. So Vanessa says, I remembered something I haven't shared with anyone in a long time. When I was 4 to 7 years old, I had a little imaginary friend who was a little boy from Africa behind me. Like when I would sit down, I'd be seated on his lap and he would speak to me. I think it freaked me out eventually because I was in a very religious household and I cut it off. It's so interesting. Yeah. So yeah, don't hear your gifts are all like honored, and you're safe here and welcome here in the Twin Flames universe community.
I actually had a kind of similar experience when I was, I don't remember, but I was about 7 or 8 maybe. And it was not a clear like figure, but I did feel like a shadow was following me everywhere I went. Later on, apparently somebody told me it was one of my guardian angels. I have absolutely no way of determining if that's true or not, but I never felt threatened by this presence. I was kind of like in my I got a little freaked out by the fact that it was kind of like a shadow, and I couldn't really see who this being was. But otherwise, like looking back, it was really very safe experience. So like it's safe to explore what this connection is and what is showing you. You never know. It might be that it's someone from your past, someone that you have affinity with, a guardian angel, maybe your twin flame, who knows? But you will only kind of like get to that answer just by going through that experience, and you can revisit it. It doesn't matter if it was from your childhood. You can always look back at it and see how you were feeling about it, or what feeling springs up now. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I thought you wanted to say something. Okay.
So anybody has anything else to share?
Yeah, I just wanted to say hi to some new people joining us. Hello to Sarah Ali. Hello to Lara Zimmer. I think that's it that's watching currently. So welcome, and please post a question in the comments.
Yeah. So yeah, this I feel like there is just a lot of grounding that's needed instead of fantasizing about twin flame, especially in the group. Also, everybody's exploring, right? So in the open forum, that is, especially people who are, learning about the teachings, or getting into it or getting to know it. So what is that the teachings bring reality, right? Like, this is real, this process is real, instead of these stories and the mythical stories, and you connect it to this and that, because somewhere or the other, just hearing everybody's experience, I think, like, when we are children itself, we are aware of this. Like, from the time we are created, Deborah was saying earlier, like, from the time we are created, we are aware that there is this person at some level, some unconscious level, for sure. So, how to move it from fantasy to reality is something which the teachings invite you into. And actually, Jeff and Shilia's journey has shown that. And from day one of the Ascension School, like from when they move from this home to the next home, to the manifestation of their life purposes, then finally now grace, which they have been talking about for so many classes in Ascension School. So for me, that's like, it's so grounded, it's just there. They have done it, and one step at a time, and shown. And in my case also, it has been pretty much similar. Like, just with the work, it's one step at a time for me. Now it's me and my twin flame diving into our life purpose, which I never thought is going to come in anytime soon. Never. So that's why, like, when we were working together today, he was looking at those the designs and things like that, and then he's like, "You're just like me." So I was like, yeah, no surprise. Right. So, and I never thought I'd hear this from this person who initially was so blocked towards me, right? And yeah, it's the teachings. All I did is just follow what Jeff and Sheila did and listen to my coach, I guess. Both.
Wait a second. When you say follow what they did, what's that process like? I'm being silly, but
Nice.
what do you mean when you say that?
Okay, so for me, it was very important because I come from India. I was like super happy I found my guru. So, right, like this was a search for me. I had a lot of healing also to do related to guru. But the day I met Jeff, like, I will not forget, like it was one of the Wednesday classes then, one of the first Wednesday classes. And he took my name and there was this I was sleepy. It was early morning, and I was like, like that. And then there was this love in his voice, which just woke me up. And I was like, there was this love which showed me that you're home. And it was like some sort of divine explosion in my heart at that point. I was very happy, although I was sleepy. It took me a couple of months to register that. So then I understood, like, just listening to your guru's voice. So for me, it was their voice, not from a logical intellect way. So the classes and whatever Jeff and Shilya really worded it out, the feeling level, just following that. So connecting to the feeling level and following that helped me heal my heart. And then my coach brought in a lot of love and discipline in this place. So this was my process. Just faith, because in their voice there is God. So I brought faith there and it worked for me brilliantly. So yeah. Does that answer
Yeah.
your question?
Yeah. So the connection that you have to Jeff and Shalia, anybody can have when they watch the classes.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is true. You can claim the classes, and it's a matter of connecting with your heart instead of going into intellect or ego. And if anything triggers you, it's just a matter of healing, and that trigger will bring more love, more. If you're triggered by something, in any of the classes or in any process, the trigger is the building block towards your union. Because, for example, if you're triggered and angry with your twin flame, what is the opposite of anger? There's going to be more love, right? Like more love and more happiness might come in, right? So yeah, and that's going to form the building block towards your union, your so triggers are not to be taken personally. That's something which, again, Jeff says, right? Like it's nothing ever personal. It's only a place to heal. So it's safe to look at that and walk the process. So how do you feel, everyone? We have a minute more, I think. So
Good. Vanessa says to you, Deb, thanks for sharing. I've gone back and mirroring, healing, and abandoning him. I'm clear he was my twin flame. Thank you.
that's wonderful. Yeah, I feel pretty complete here. Does anyone have any last couple of words or anything to share?
I feel complete.
Congratulations, Vanessa.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, congrats.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think also Vanessa showing that, the success in healing is everyone's success. Again, there's no separation in that. Like Jeff and Shilya having the baby, manifesting that, and the coaches, all the coaches having that success, Vanessa having that success in the healing. So it's everybody's success to have, just a matter of doing the mirror exercise, I think. Yeah. So with that, I would like to end this session. Thank you so much for listening and joining. Thank you.